Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic and wonderful. Everything here is great. Is it, though? I've been having some executive functioning disorder lately. Uh, and I know we've talked a whole lot on this channel about motivation, about getting stuff done, but this time it feels very, very different. This time, instead of my brain focusing on one thing, it's focusing on like dozens of things, and I can't pick, right? Like I'm having a hard time picking one of those things to do. Um, Over the past month, I've been spending 4 to 10 hours each weekend in the shop making stuff, fixing stuff, making new clamp racks, building shelves for M, building her laptop thing. I've had these projects rolling, and I've really enjoyed that time in here. I've really enjoyed getting to use, my skills and my tools is something that I feel, really good about. Um, and now that that project is over, it's like, well, what now? And last weekend I hung the shelves, but that's really all I did. I maybe came down here a little bit and cleaned up or something, but I had to remake the stretcher pieces, so I did get to do a little bit of playing, but it wasn't the focused amount of time that had been spending in here. And I liked it. I want to spend the more time in here. The problem is I don't know what to do. And so yesterday we talked about, feeling like a champion because I had built this project up to be this huge thing, and it kind of was. But once I learned all of the things I needed to know, the actual completion of that project or that code base was really simple. Um, and it made me feel really good. I know that a lot of the things I need to do in here are the same way. The problem is my brain is like, let's do that, let's do that, let's do that, let's do that, let's do that. It's pointing me in every direction to every corner of this shop. So to give you an example, there is a project sitting just behind the camera. I think I've told you this many times. It's been sitting there, not there, but somewhere in the shop for 2 or 3 years now, unfinished. Just and I've made progress. Started progress on it last year. Um, I'll hopefully be able to tell you about this project soon or show it to you, but it just needs done. What I need to do to that thing I had a template cut on a CNC 3 years ago to make this project. It was originally going to be a one-off, so in my head it wasn't a template, it was the final product. And I just needed to figure out how to seal it up and paint it and ship it to the customer. I have since realized there are other people who want that thing, and I need to make 3 of them. And I realized that the original product that I had cut is a perfect template for routing. So I have a hardwood version of that product, rough cut. It just needs milled to final dimensions with a flush cut bit on a router. Plain and simple. I could do that by hand, I think. I have a small palm router that I could clamp in my vise, or I could just clamp to the table. I have a huge router I could do the same thing with. But I would like to use the router table. I feel much more comfortable when I'm doing flush trimming, much less of a chance of something going wrong, right? The problem is my old router table sucked, so I tore it apart because it had this big bow in the middle, and I decided the next time I needed to use it, I would make one. Cool. So that's one of the projects, make a router table. I got a whole bunch of the bits to do that for Christmas, like the insert plate and the risers and all that sort of stuff. The thing is, I was originally going to put it in the wing of my table saw. I have since realized the wing of my table saw is not big enough. I need to build an actual dedicated thing. Cool. I also want to get rid of the outfeed support that I have at the end of my table saw. It's complete garbage. I need to move it out of the way and put the tools that are on there on this shelf behind me, and then I want to build the router table there as outfeed support. So that's kind of a big project. It's a cabinet on casters, lockable casters. It's going to have drawers. It's going to have a flat top, a fence. Kind of a big deal. I'm not positive yet how to tackle that. I've said 1,000 times I need to build shelves under this side of this workbench because I have all of this stuff that doesn't have a home, and it needs to have a home because I'm tired of it taking up counter space. I want to build a table or a cabinet underneath of my table saw extension wing to put my saw blades, my push blocks, all my table saw accessories in. I want to rebuild this table. Completely rebuild it. Throw it away, start over. I want to rebuild the dust collection miter saw station solution that I currently don't have because it sucks. And my brain is pointing at all of this, going, do all of those things. Oh, and my mom needs a headboard, or asked me to build her a headboard. She's asked me to build her a frame for a cross stitch or an art project that she did. God, there's probably lots of other things that my brain keeps like, oh, you got to do this, oh, you got to do that. And it makes it really difficult for me to pick one or do something. And so I think on the way down here, I said I'm going to talk about this. On the way down here, I realized that today was one of those days where I didn't have a topic. One of those days you guys seem to like when I just come down here and talk. But on the way down here, I figured out I want to talk about this feeling that I'm having because I'm not used to juggling the desire to do all of these things. I usually hyper focus on one thing, like, oh, I'm really going to do that thing, and I'm going to do it hardcore. Right now, my brain's like, oh, I want to do all of these things. Where do we start? And I don't know where to start. But the realization that I had is, just like this video, I think the answer is to just start. Just like every time I've had one of these conversations where I didn't have a topic, I just started talking and something happens, I need to just do that. I need to just come down here, pick one of these things, and start doing it. I think it's probably going to be the router cabinet, though I do have a aluminum Craftsman router table. I could knock that project out pretty quick, and I would love to get that done and sent off. So I might do that one first and tackle the router project after that. I have plenty of sheet goods. I bought like 5 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood 4 years ago or 3 years ago when I built M's desk, and I still have 3 or 2.5 of those sheets, so I have plenty of sheet goods to build that. Plenty of sheet goods to build this. I think I have enough to do both of those projects. And M bought me the Craig Rip Cut so that I could break down the plywood much easier. I'm really excited about this little thing. I've already got it set up. By the way, I know a lot of you watch maker videos. I'm trying to figure out a way to hang this. I don't have a place to put it, like a shelf to put it on. I'd like to hang it like some of my other jigs are, and it just doesn't really have a convenient way to do that. I'm thinking it's going to have to be some sort of like it slides onto a hook. If you've seen anybody store their Craig Rip Cut and you have a good idea of how to store it, let me know in the comments. Point me to a video or something because I need to do that. That being said, it's the weekend. I think M's parents are going to come tomorrow because they didn't, it's our birthdays this week, so they're going to come celebrate birthdays. Kids have lots of stuff going on, voice lessons and scouts, and so I'm going to be busy all weekend. But hopefully I'll get to come down here and do some playing with tools. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again on Monday. Today's word you should know to sound smart is lascivious. It's an adjective meaning interested in and eager to engage in sexual activity, sexual in nature. An impersonal and scientific knowledge of the structure of our bodies is the surest safeguard against prudent curiosity and lascivious gloating. Marie Carmichael Stopes, British scientist and birth control pioneer. Lascivious. Lascivious. Interested in and eager to engage in sexual activity. I think, if you're not interested in, maybe is that a good thing?